Hey guys, good morning. Happy New Year. I cannot believe that we're in 2023. I'm going to just talk here for a few minutes to give Travis some time to hop on here. I know that we can all relate with just having some technical difficulty sometimes and things not running as smoothly as we want. So don't mind me just rambling on here. I am very, very excited for today's live. I hope that you guys are just excited as me. I know that I've set some pretty ambitious goals for 2023. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? I'm just waiting for Travis to join us here and request to join me on the screen. I know that Facebook can be pretty temperamental at times, so I'm just waiting to see um, him on here. So give me a minute, guys. Don't mind my punching away on the screen. I'm gonna give Travis a moment. We've got some really exciting stuff to talk about here. Oh, there he is. Just give us a second and he should be on.
Hello, hello, hello.
Good morning, Travis. How are you?
Good day to have a good day. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I still can't believe that we're in January of 2023. I'm like, where did 2022 go? Like, I feel like we just blinked.
You know, my brother said something to me on New Year's Eve. He says, "Do you realize that the 80s were like 40 years ago?" And I was like, what in the world? You know what I mean? Like 35, 40 years ago, if you think about it. That's just, I don't know. We're getting old. I'm a grandpa now. I mean, who would have ever thought that? You know what I mean?
I mean, I had some friends in town the week of Christmas, and Kevin and I had a little pact. 12 and 13-year-old went, ew, old people kissing. And I thought, when did I get old?
It happens to the best of us, I get. But you know, with age comes wisdom, and I'm appreciative of that wisdom because some of the stuff that I did in my 20s and 30s now, I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, how did I? What was I even? I don't know. There's just a certain level of maturity that comes with, and wisdom that comes with experience, I guess.
Well, I think that everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer on that, and we're like fun to get better with age. So that, right? So
I love it.
I
I
don't
love it. I love it. I'm actually sharing this right now, so that's what I'm doing here while we're talking. So keep chatting with me, but I'm just sharing the live as well.
no worries. I told everybody to bear with us for the first couple minutes because, you know, Facebook can be temperamental and we got to do what we got to do to get this out there and to get you on here and join us. I'm just really excited to have this conversation because we've had a lot of exciting stuff going on. I know that you've been a little bit louder publicly than Kevin and I have, but Kevin and I have been very busy. For those of you that we were in Europe in October. Our other business partners and we earned our trip there, but we've got some exciting stuff to come in. But before we go into that conversation, I want to ask you, Travis. So I've been seeing a lot of posts about people with New Year's resolutions. Some people feel they need to make them. Some people feel like, hey, I don't need it to be New Year's to set goals. I can set goals whenever I want. I got to hear, which one are you? Do you believe in New Year's resolutions or not?
So I first of all agree with the statement that it doesn't have to be New Year's to set a goal or to change your life or to make a decision. You know, you'll never change your life until you change something that you do daily, right? Our success ultimately comes down to our daily routine and our habits. And so unless you change those habits, you're never going to ultimately change the outcome and the result. And so, you know, I'm a big believer that you don't have to have a new year to make that decision. But with that being said, we are actually big goal setters and resolutions because on the other side of the fence, I would argue that there's nothing wrong with a milestone that brings you back to center. You know what I mean? So for us, it's kind of like we find ourselves venturing off in one direction or another. And we have goals for spiritually, goals for our family, goals financially. And sometimes you get a little heavy on one area and then you're sacrificing or you're falling short in other areas. And so for me, I like the New Year's resolution simply from the standpoint that it allows us to recommit, to refocus, to talk about new goals. And in fact, tonight, we didn't get to do it last night, but Summer and I are going to meet with the kids tonight. We're going to sit around the table and we're going to set some new goals, intentions, whatever you want to call them. So I am a big fan of New Year's resolutions this time of the year.
What did they say? Goals are not goals until you write them down. They're only dreams.
Yeah, we were on the corporate call a little earlier, and Joe said, write down, this particular goal, and he was talking about being in the top 10, and I wrote down top 3, and I'm putting it on my wall, and I'm going to stare at it the rest of the year, and so I do believe you need to write them down, and you need to reinforce them daily, and just be reminded of why you are going through these daily. Sometimes the daily grind is hard. You got to have something that's reminding you to keep going forward. So
100%. So I'm just going to kind of dive right in. And for you that are watching, I apologize if I'm all over the place with questions, but I want to utilize time wisely. And I got to know, what is your general take on the crypto industry right now as a whole?
So cryptocurrency, it's so interesting because if you look at the global adoption of cryptocurrency over the course of the last 11 years, it's undeniable. I mean, it's gone to a point now where 4% of the population currently has a cryptocurrency wallet. And while that may not seem like a lot, that's a tremendous amount of people. It's projected that could grow to as high as 10% over the next 12 to 24 months. And if you look at the performance in comparison, let's just take Bitcoin, since it's the most popular cryptocurrency, and you compare its performance to any other market, right? Whether it be Forex, whether it's the stock market, the S&P 500, it's not only outperformed all of them, but by miles and miles and miles. And so for that reason, I think that cryptocurrency is the future. I'm not saying that there's not a place for the stock market and some of these other areas. I believe in diversification. I'm not a financial advisor, by the way, so what I'm sharing is just my opinions. But there are little things that you have to take into consideration. The baby boomers, there's not as many children being born today as there was at one time. There's less people that are investing overall into the stock markets. I think that old ways won't open new doors. And I believe that digital is the future. Digital, whether it's digital currency. I mean, think about the way we operate today, right? I mean, you can send money, Venmo, Cash App. My son kind of jokes Chandler, and he says, Dad, your generation, you're a boomer, you represent fiat currency. He's like, all of my money's in digital currency. Like Sarah, Chandler is such a wizard when it comes to this sending crypto. It's like they don't even go into banks. You know what I mean? So I think for that reason. Another thing is, I think that there's a sense of mistrust out there in, some might even argue, the government, but let's take that a step, a little bit further and talk about the Federal Reserve and our banking system as a whole right now. At least for myself, I worry. People ask me all the time, well, what about this whole FTX deal, the Sam Friedman exchange going under? And they use that as a reason why cryptocurrency is too risky. And I will completely agree that was bad for crypto, right? Seeing that exchange go down was bad. But with that, I think what that's going to do is it's going to bring some regulation in where it's needed. Not a big fan of over-regulating cryptocurrency to the point where it kills it. And I don't think that either side of the political parties want that either. They're too heavily invested as well into the digital currency and blockchain technology at this point. But regulation on an exchange should be there, right? Like if you're putting money into an exchange, they should have enough money to cover if for some reason you now want to withdraw. And I want to point this out. What happened with FTX is very simple. They did a bank run. People started hearing that Sam Friedman and FTX didn't have enough money to back the amount of money that was deposited into their exchange. Why? Because he was using it to fund political parties and using it to do whatever he wanted with. But let me tell you something. If all of us went to our banks today and we decided all at one time to go withdraw money, they don't have the money to cover it. They used to legally be required to carry 10% of at least have 10% in reserves They don't even, the politicians snuck that into one bill somewhere along the way where that's not even required anymore. And so the reality is I have growing concerns about our overall banking system, the regulation. You know, I have been trying to do business with someone who we were trying to wire money back and forth to each other. And it was a larger 6-figure amount this last week. And it is like pulling teeth, Sarah, trying to send a wire. They want to know what it's for. You know, the scrutiny and just the fees that they charge. And yet he can turn around and send me, you know, USDT or Bitcoin in 15 seconds it arrives and there's no fees. And so I share all of that as a long-winded answer to say this. I think that cryptocurrency has a very, very bright future. You know, you always have the critics that come out in a down market, which is where we are right now. We are in a crypto winter. But it's funny because those critics, they don't talk about the volatility of the stock market. You know, I mean, if you look at, I just saw at the end of the year, they published that the end of the year results for 2022 for the stock market was $8 trillion in losses. You and I both know people that have 401ks that have turned into 301ks, or even some cases 201ks. And so the truth is that whatever goes up must come down. There's always going to be fluctuations in markets. Cryptocurrency is no different. But I believe that with cryptocurrency, I always ask myself, what's going to be the catalyst that moves that 4% to 10%? And to me, it's moving past the speculation and hype and getting to a source of tangibility. And that's ultimately why we have aligned ourselves with the company that we're a part of right now.
So I know that you said that right now we're kind of in the winter phase of cryptocurrencies. Mm-hmm. Would you advise that you start accumulating cryptocurrency? Because I know that a lot of times people see values of things going down and they get spooked and they sell everything right away.
Warren Buffett said something, the quote that I'm a fan of. He says, "You buy when there's blood in the streets." And it's so fascinating to me to watch human behavior because we're all guilty of FOMO, of fear of missing out, right? There's some coins that have zero utility, which means purpose. They were started as a joke, and they started becoming popular in the Reddit groups, and then some of the celebrities started tweeting about them, and all of a sudden they shot up in value. And people, man, FOMO kick. I was guilty of it. I'm like, I gotta go over and buy this coin with a dog or a fox on it, right? And here's the thing, when Bitcoin is at 69, man, people are running to buy, right? Because it's like everything's good, it's going up, people are making money. And then when it goes down to where it is right now in the 16s, everybody's like, oh, you know, they buy into we call it FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So they kind of sit back and they're like, oh man, the news is saying cryptocurrency's over, or my neighbor who has zero knowledge, or my father, brother, who have zero knowledge of digital currency are saying, oh no, stay away from that. And so, you know, to me, I believe that the decisions that you make, I was one of the ones in 2018, Bitcoin went from 19,000 to 3,000. And Ethereum lost 94% of its value, two of the most popular coins, right? And all of the naysayers came in and said, I told you so, the bubble has burst, told you there was no value. And I was out there on social media saying the same thing that I'm saying today. The decisions that you make today in a market like this, and the coins that you accumulate during that same time, can lead to true wealth over the course of the next few years. And what happened? Bitcoin went to 69,000 and Ethereum went to over 3,000. So, you know, I can't guarantee that's going to happen again, but if you look at the history, I believe the best predictor of future performance is past performance. Markets go up and down. To me, my strategy is I'm going to accumulate as many coins as I can in this down market. I'm not worried about price. Price matters. I could care less. Like, people don't understand. They come in and they're like, well, how much money are you making daily right now? I'm not worried about making money right now. I'm worried about, there's a difference between price and value, right? I mean, price, like Bitcoin's price today is 16,000. That's not Bitcoin's value. It's already proven that it was as high as 69,000. A lot of experts are predicting we could see it hit 100K before the end of the year or early 2024. So when I buy at 16, and if somebody comes to me in 60 days and says, well, what's your ROI then? I don't know yet because I haven't sold it. I'm not going to sell it until it hits that new all-time high. And at that point, I'll tell you what my ROI is. And so for me, it is all about accumulation right now. In a down market, price and value are never the same. It takes time for the price to catch up to the value. And if you can understand that, you can go create some true wealth for yourself in this next few years.
I love it. I think that too many people just don't know. I know that you said that.
Sorry, I'm hearing me over here too. Go ahead.
That's okay. I said too many people just don't know any better, and I want to be able to put out information like we're doing right now to better educate people, because I too am learning. And, I was always kind of steered away from cryptocurrency. I thought, there was nothing backing it before. And I have talked to so many other investors that never wanted to get involved in cryptocurrency prior to what we have going on now, because they felt like there's nothing tangible backing it. There was nothing actually behind it besides hype. And I know that we've come across exactly that. And I would love to know why you're such a believer in the debt box.
So, kind of goes back to what we were talking about. So if you look at the last 10 years and you look even at the last bull run, a bull run, by the way, is just, bear markets are cold winters, right? Where nothing is happening, things are down. Bear markets are when the markets are performing exceptionally well. You look at the last bull run, it was built around a lot of hype and a lot of speculation. There's a lot of that in cryptocurrency. You get these coins that they don't really have any utility. There's not really any value or purpose behind them. And yet they're hyped up by celebrities or, influencers that are paid, by the way, to do that. And then what happens is they go up, and then those celebrities and the owners of those tokens, they all sell and the bottom falls out. We call it a rug pull. And so we saw a lot of that in 2023, and some people won and some people who bought during the FOMO periods did not. I know both sides of the coin of those people. For me, it's about, I think the next bull run is going to be driven by substance over hype, tangibility over speculation. And I'm going to give you an example. The dollar used to be backed by gold. And in 1974, it was removed, the gold standard was removed by Richard Nixon. Since that time, the dollar has lost 86% of its value. Why? Because there's nothing backing it. So I've always felt like, and I've been a crypto enthusiast for 6-7 years now, I've always felt like the moment that somebody tokenizes a commodity, and what I mean by that is they create a coin that's backed by gold, like the dollar was, or backed by oil, or backed by silver, or some of these other commodities that are in high demand, natural gas. The moment that somebody can figure that out, now you have something that the masses that are kind of still a little uncertain about cryptocurrency are going to go, okay, now I see that there's some substance here. And so when we talk about what's going to be the catalyst that moves the needle from 4% to 10%, in my opinion, it's tangibility. And Debtbox is doing things that nobody else has done in the world. They created the first platform that allows, that has different projects, different tokens, we'll call them tokens, coins, essentially the same thing, that are backed by real world commodities that are in high demand. And that has never been done before. And as a result, these guys in 12 months have sold almost 1.7 million licenses to mine. And not just that, Sarah, but not only did they create these projects that are backed by these tokens, mining has been this obscure thing that, technology guys that, really know about all that stuff, they were the only ones, crypto, like super crypto guys, they're the only ones that could get into it because it's so complicated, right? The equipment, the gaming, the GPU cards or whatever cards that you have to get and you continue to burn up, all that stuff. Debtbox said, we're going to create this simple software that people can run literally on their computer, or they can host it through, Amazon hosting for $5 a month. And we're going to let people mine these tokens, and they can get them daily rewards every single day. And they're doing things that have never been done before. And they're bringing Their utility and their purpose is to reduce the volatility in this industry and to bring real world value to the table. And I subscribe to that 100%.
So obviously you can't provide any guarantees. You have a little more knowledge than the average person, the global debt ambassador. But where do you see this going in 2023 and beyond?
Oh man, 2022 was a pretty incredible year. And, if anybody that's watching this, there is a site, it's a generic site called dexscreener.com. I would encourage you to go there and type in DEBT. That is our master utility token. We have a number of projects, but this is the master utility token that kind of serves our entire community. And just look at the performance on that particular project. We launched it a little over a penny. I guess it was a little over a year ago now, and we're at $19.50 today. Now, I want you to think about this. We're in a crypto winter when most projects are down 60, 70, 80%. And if you do the math on that, it's about 180,000% increase in the value of that particular token. Some of our other projects have done exceptionally well this year also. So with that being said, I think that that's a very good indicator or solid evidence that what we are doing is being well received, and that the concept of proof of stored value is there, right? Stored value is whenever there's a recession, people try to figure out, okay, where do I put my money so that it's not going to just disappear to inflation and the rising costs of everything, right? That's why people buy gold or silver. So with that being said, there's three things people look for in a recession. They look for stored value, they look for potential cash flow, cash is king, and they look for upside potential. Gold might give you stored value, but it doesn't give you cash flow and it doesn't give you tremendous upside potential. Stock market right now is not giving you those things. Putting your money in the bank, you're losing money to inflation, some of the highest inflation rates we've lived through in the last 40 years. So we are providing solutions that just about everybody is looking for right now. So for that reason, I believe that 2023, we're going to see DebtBox explode at a level that is going to be very exciting. I can tell you that in the coming weeks, there are going to be some announcements. We have an event in Salt Lake City on January 14th of some strategic partnerships and alliances that have been created with billion-dollar, very, very well-known brands around the world. And those press releases are going to come from their side that they partnered with us because of our technology. And what that's going to do is it's going to continue to lend more and more credibility. We have 12 new licenses being introduced in 2023. And I am just telling you that I am buying, I'm accumulating. And I think that there's going to be some, again, we can't offer any guarantees. We don't offer ROIs. It's very clear that you understand we're not selling crypto or a financial vehicle. What we sell is hardware and software that allows you to mine DebtBox projects. But with that being said, and I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks in 2023, and it's going to set the stage for what I predict is the next bull run at the end of the year or the beginning of 2024. That's just my prediction, but that's when Bitcoin's halving is, and I think that's what's going to spark the next bull run.
So I got to ask you, what projects are you most excited about right now?
Well, debt licenses are available right now. There was only 50,000 of those ever created. 35,000 have been sold. Actually 40,000 now. For the next 3 years, they're only releasing 5,000 a year every year, and 1,000 of those come over to IX Global on the wholesale side. DebtBox only sells retail, typically to accredited and investors for retail pricing. We are the wholesaler, so we sell those licenses, our licenses at wholesale pricing. So only 1,000 of those was introduced about 30 days ago. More than half of those are gone. And if you can get your hands on one of those licenses, although it's one of our more expensive licenses, that's the master utility token that's gone from 1 penny to almost $20 per token in a year. So I really like that license, and we actually are picking up 1 or 2 more today just because I'm blown away at the performance. Also, I really like Explorer right now. It's for the bang for your buck. It's a $2,500 license. Everybody needs to understand our licenses are perpetual. That means that it goes on for life. Every single day, we can't guarantee you what you're going to make. We can guarantee you that you're going to have more tokens tomorrow than you do today. We can't guarantee what the value of those tokens are going to do. We're not allowed to. But every day, you're going to receive daily rewards for the rest of your life when you buy a license. It's kind of a passive, we love passive residual income, right? So because it's priceless. So Explorer is the technology that makes all of these projects possible. And there are going to be some announcements made. We leaked a little bit of information, so I can share this in December, of a 3D image scan that allows us to be able to scan the Earth. And it allows us not only to scan the Earth, but to look now at these different commodities, gold, silver, oil, from a 3D perspective. Nobody else in the world is doing anything like that. And there are some announcements that are surrounding that and some strategic partnerships that are coming with that are going to be made in the next couple of weeks. And I think that is going to have a really positive impact on the Explorer license and the token values as a whole in 2023. So I own 39 Explorer licenses, just to put things into perspective of how I feel about that project.
I love it. I'm really excited about Explorer as well. I love this conversation and where it's going. I feel like we've covered a whole lot of it. Is there anything else that you just want to add in, Travis? I don't have any questions for you per se.
Well, I would just say, first of all, to those that are watching, it's a good time to kind of reevaluate. It's a new year. I would ask you some questions. The first question I would ask you to consider is, did you accomplish your goals financially in 2022? Did you achieve the level of freedom that you wanted to achieve in 2022? Are you happy? Are you satisfied with the results that you received? And if the answer is no to that question, I know that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I believe that times are changing, and I believe that multiple revenue streams are important in this day and age. We hear all the time, and even right now, there's still warnings of food storage or food shortages. And, we all saw how quickly the world could be shut down over the last couple of years. Mortgage brokers right now are losing their jobs left and right because the real estate industry has raised their rates so much. Realtors that were killing it a year in the last couple of years are all of a sudden like, what am I going to do? Because nothing is selling. So there's so many things that can change. And that's why multiple revenue streams is important. And I believe that the key is to develop enough income producing assets that you have freedom, right? That you have the ability to be able to do the things you want to do rather than the things that you have to do. And whether it's with us or anywhere else, I would tell you, we have some great opportunities here. Number one, you don't ever have to recruit anybody or build a team here to generate a revenue on a daily basis. That's unheard of in this space. And for those of you that are considering or looking at making a change or wanting to add an additional revenue stream, I want to just say that you don't have to be a crypto expert to be successful here, right, Sarah? Do you have to be a crypto expert? You guys have had, by the way, congratulations on your guys' success. You guys had a monumental year. Your last 4 or 5 months was outrageous, qualifying for trips to Barcelona, level of income that you guys have achieved. But let me ask you, do you have to be a crypto expert to be successful here?
Oh no, you guys, I literally think like I didn't even know how to access a crypto wallet or even make a purchase. And I just knew that I was looking for this when it came to the crypto world. Commodity-backed crypto, are you kidding me? Like, it's a no-brainer. And then when you actually do your due diligence and you look into what this is, it's pretty hard not to become excited about it. And it's just been, I would say, easy going from here on forth. Obviously, there's some education I've had to teach myself, but by no means whatsoever do you need to be a crypto expert to have success here.
Yeah, it's all you have to be able to understand is the benefits of having a license. You don't need to know how it works. We have presentations that explain all that. But it's fun because we are kind of in a league of our own. Nobody has what we're offering. It's a product that everybody needs and most everybody wants. And so we've got a great opportunity on the business side for those of you that are wanting to just develop some additional revenue streams. I think diversification is something that is, at least on my mind, in my opinion, again, not a financial advisor, I believe that in a recession, smart money diversifies. Putting all your eggs in one basket makes zero sense. And if you're just sitting there letting your 401k or your retirement just sit there at a whim, be left to chance to the stock market, you have options. And I would encourage you to explore those options and educate yourself. And then you can make a well-informed decision whether or not it makes sense to you to diversify, make a small, maybe diversify some of those funds into some other options that are available to you.
I love it. I want to kind of leave it there because I feel like we've left a ton of information. I don't want to make this too long. Thank you so much, Travis. You guys, let's have a conversation. If you've been looking at this at all, I promise it's worth your time. We can share some information with you and you won't be sorry. I can say that much because we sure aren't.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Congratulations on your success. I'm excited to see you guys soar in 2023. I truly have never been more excited at the turn of a year for an opportunity that we're working on as we are right now. And I would invite anybody that's watching this that knows Kevin and Sarah to get in touch with them, because you want to know more about what it is they're doing that is really impacting so many lives. So appreciate you having me on today.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you for your time. Happy New Year, everybody.
All right. Happy New Year. You guys take care. Bye-bye.